but we're working on a solution to preserve the people that live here, home, period. Not project-based, not what Mr. Kane's opinion is, that, oh, it has to be project-based. No, he started at 150 units, now it's down to 90. He said that they needed 1.6, now it's down to we don't need 1.6.
You're saying none. At least 90 is something.
No,
Between
sir.
150 and 90,
Sir.
it's something. You're
Sir.
saying none.
Jason, I have to say this.
Just saying
I
none.
didn't-
You don't- go ahead.
What was
Mr.
said-
Correia is questioning my credentials in terms of what can be done here and what are the possible solutions. I've been doing this for 40 years. I don't know how long you've been working on housing issues. But we've saved 12,200 apartments in this state, one building at a time through tenant groups just like this. And they fought to save their homes. They fought to save their homes. That's what I do. I'm an organizer. We don't own or manage anything. We help a number of people get ownership of their own buildings. So we have some expertise in this. That's the reason that Mass Housing did ask us to put on slideshows through a contract with CDEC. That's why we came here, because we heard what was happening. And without, we are convinced that without project-based vouchers, the very low-income people who are in the 87, about half of you, are paying these basic rents. It's more than 30% of your income, for the most part. You would not be able to afford a $100 or $200 rent increase after that 3-year period is over. And that would be a major, whereas if they do it now, you'll get an immediate rent reduction. So that was pretty clear, and I think that's the reason why, when we were here talking about it, people voted to keep the building affordable for the current mix of incomes with a priority for seniors, handicapped, and veterans. There is a way to do that by getting a HUD waiver, which we want to work with you on. We share that goal. Everybody in the room shares that goal. So we've heard third hand. This is the first time I've met you. People have heard third hand about what you were saying or not saying. I think it would be great if you would. The tenants organization sent you a letter and a petition well before that housing authority meeting. It was unfortunate you were not able to meet with them. But maybe this is a conversation that should happen with the tenant leadership. And by the way, I don't negotiate on behalf of groups. What we do is work with the tenant leadership so that they negotiate for themselves. That's our practice. So I think if you're willing to meet with a tenant committee, there is a leadership group here that has emerged in the last month.
I'm here amongst all the tenants.
Yes, yes, but the tenant leadership could sit down with you and with Mr. Dion and the others, and see if we could work something out that would get we understand that your goal is to bring in more market rate people into the city, more market rate people into this building. You heard you said, is this true, that you want to see rents at $2,000 a month in this building in 10 years?
No, nobody said that.
You didn't say that, okay.
Like I want people to die.
That
makes me crazy. That's what I've advocated more than anyone.
You said it.
I want people to die.
So it might be better to have face-to-face meetings with a smaller group where we can talk about this. But if you're adamantly opposed to any project-based vouchers for the 90 people that need them now, that is a major problem. And they will be displaced after that 3-year rent limitation is over. It's not right away, but after 3 years.
There's a whole relocation process.
So, all right. I don't want this to be adversarial. We're trying to come up with solutions here.
Right.
But once again, I think it's very important. You have somebody has 40 years experience of coming in and giving you their opinion. They don't live it every day. They don't run the city. They don't understand the problems that you face. They're giving you their opinion, okay? We are in communication with Mass Housing directly, to create a solution to preserve your apartments, period. That's what we're trying to do. All this other talk about project-based, about Weston, about whomever, is all not on the table until we figure out a solution with Mass Housing. If there is no solution with Mass Housing, then we come back and we talk to you again and we try to figure something else out. But I'll tell you, from us standing where we've stood and not budging and still working for the people in this room and in this building, we went from 100%, 200 units, project-based, no control who comes in here, to 150, to today 90. We went from, we need $1.6 million to do this project, excuse me, sir, to now we don't need 1.6. So I'm doing my job.
And that's the one bad point, that's our view of it. I can't speak for Weston. None of us can speak for Weston, but we think that they can make it work without that, if that's a problem for you.
You think that now, Mr. Kane, that's what I'm trying to convey to everybody in the room. You only think that now because the city has taken that stance.
Because they had
They
originally
said
asked
it at the
for
housing
200,000.
authority meeting themselves. The guy stood there and said that in front of the board.
He said he
That
needed 90?
was more than willing to work with the city, as
Right.
much as it
So
took.
the only one that's gonna be allowed to
But
speak?
but how many
Or
units
these
were they
other people
requesting
gonna
that
be
night?
allowed
What was
to
on the
speak?
agenda?
He didn't say how many.
A hundred
He
fifty.
wanted
Gonna be
to
allowed
sit
to
down.
speak 'cause
No,
it's-
Sir,
no,
it
no.
said 150.
He wanted to sit down and
No,
renegotiate with
sir.
you. Oh,
They wanted
watch the
approval,
tape.
sir, excuse me.
Okay.
That night, they wanted approval.
Wait a minute,
They can negotiate all they want, but once you have the paper, that's it. They
were
wanted
the-
approval that night for
The table was the best
150.
thing that happened, otherwise we wouldn't be
No,
standing here,
sir,
like I said already.
once you have the paper
I
of
understand that.
150 units,
I understand
that would have been it.
I understand that.
Okay.
And the no vote that would have went through on the board would have been it too.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, we have other
This
questions.
gentleman here, and this gentleman here.
Let these people, they've been waiting.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Bottom line is, the owner's driving his bus. Whatever the owner wants, she can reject it. Everything.
Yes.
She owns it outright.
She could, yeah, that's correct.
It's privately owned. She don't have to accept any of it.
She doesn't have to, it's up to her.
It's her business.
But
wants to
our
get rid of
goal,
it.
Yeah,
and we don't
I
even
understand.
have, the city doesn't even
don't
have
wanna
to do
keep
this.
it.
What we're trying to do is preserve your homes.
I understand.
Okay? And the way we do that is we work with Mass Housing to create a program that preserves your apartment and your current status, and that's it. That's what we're trying to do.
Can't
Doesn't
you
mean I can
reject
snap
that?
my finger and make it happen.
Can't she reject that?
What is it?
Can't she reject that?
Yeah, she could. She could.
Do what she wants.
She could, you're
And
right.
say, I don't want
The
it.
designee was
I'm not
through-
selling.
The designee was through Mass Housing.
Okay,
ain't happening.
here, hold up.
Wait,
Okay, hold up.
what I wanted to know is, I wanted to say what I thought you were saying.
Sure.
That you came here today, my biggest fear is that I'm gonna lose my home.
I understand.
I'm able to pay my rent, it's tight, okay, but I'm comfortable, okay? What I hear you saying is you actually have no control over saving our homes as another human being because the owner could do whatever she wants with it. That's the bottom line. But as in your power, you're saying, as a gentleman and the mayor, you're saying that you're gonna do everything you can, including backing up if something doesn't work, and maybe following what he said, or backing up, but you're gonna make sure us, the people that are already here, the ones that are in fear for their homes, you're gonna make sure we get to stay until we choose to leave, whichever way we go. That's what you're saying to us right now.
That's exactly.
That's my only concern. I'm sorry I'm not political or anything, but that's my only concern.
Right.
That I get to live here until I wanna leave.
That's it. That was well said. How was that, huh? Well said.
Well, I thank you. You answered my
Okay,
question.
Ronnie, oh, no.
Oh, see, you kept doing it for me.
All right, Alan.
I'm a veteran on the fixed income, and, you know, if you're willing to work with us and negotiate or whatever, or what you can do with the housing authority, because I know myself, I'm paying like, maybe 55%, it's down to 30% of my income. And when you're on the fixed income stuff, it's very good.
If there is an avenue to get more money in my pocket, we wanna do that.
That's,
Yeah,
understand.
if we can get it back down to 30%.
that's the only way to do that we know of is to get project-based housing to make that happen. But I don't know if the mayor's idea with Mass Housing means lowering everybody's rents to 30% of income right now, does it?
I didn't hear your question.
You're saying you're talking to Mass Housing about a program. Does your program include lowering the rents of the people paying more than 30% of their income now, down to 30%?
It may.
How would that happen?
We're not sure. It may. Look,
Okay.
sir, you have to
But if
understand.
Mass Housing is not able to come up with something new that none of us have thought of, and lower those rents and provide some other operating subsidy,
Yeah.
would you be willing to consider the project-based voucher option? I mean, I gotta tell you, when we heard this, the project-based voucher, because there are tenants in other parts of the state that are really facing the street because the rents are so high in their communities. They would die to have a proposal like this, And when we heard that that Fall River was coming up with a really creative plan, the project-based voucher plan, we thought that was
It's not a
terrific.
creative plan.
So it was more than a plan. It was a very, I can tell you flat out, it was a very creative plan. And it would lower your rent immediately to 30%. You and the other 87 people that are paying more, like you're saying, 50 to 60%. So it's a great, if you could just get your head around this, we could make some real headway and do something very creative. It could include the market rate housing that you want in the building.
You keep saying market rate housing. No, has anybody heard me say I want market rate housing here? Today?
You said you wanted market rate in section 8.
mentioned it to me when I dropped off the.
Is Kathy and me?
That's right.
Is Kathy and me, sir? Okay.
Okay. Well, we're glad you're not saying that here, but it would be maintaining the existing income mix of the property. There are 20 people here that are over 80% of median, another 20 that are 60 to 80%.
So-
And then the rest are, so it's a mixed income building. It's why it works so well. People want to keep that. And there's a way to modify the project-based voucher proposal to achieve that goal. And we can help you get that from HUD. We have, okay, so we
understand
can
the
do
options
that.
that exist.
So if you're willing to be flexible about achieving your goals and achieving the tenants' goals, we can get somewhere with this, and the Fall River will look great statewide. If you don't do that, and what happens is that 90 people are forced out in a couple of years, Fall River is not going to look good, and it's not going to redound very well to your reputation.
He keeps bringing up, you hear it, my reputation, I have to save face.
Fall
Fall
River
River's
looks
gonna
great,
look
believe
good.
me.
This is the kind of tactics, scare tactics, that this gentleman is using today. It's wrong. My goal right now is to work directly with Mass Housing to preserve your apartments. Listen to what he said earlier. He said people in other communities would die to live here because rents are so high in other communities.
They would die to have this proposal for project-based vouchers so they
Hold
can
on,
stay
sir.
in their homes.
But if this
That's what
building,
I
hold
said.
on. So if this building was 200 units, project-based, 150, would those people be able to move here?
Would people from other cities be able to?
Yes.
No,
If 150 units were project-based, would they be able to move here from those other communities that don't have those proposals?
First of all, I think if.
It's a yes or no?
I would say no, because you'd have to get in the waiting list for the Fall River
If I
housing.
was entitled to that
The
project.
way
Wait a
project-based
minute.
vouchers works
If
is that the Fall River
150
Housing
vouchers.
Authority would
So,
control.
but other housing authority could put people in this property, from
No.
Worcester,
no,
from
they couldn't.
Springfield,
No, actually, they couldn't.
they can.
No, they could not put them directly into the property.
But they-
It's a project-based voucher.
But those people could get into this building.
They have to come off the Fall River Housing
Uh,
Authority wait list.
You would have to
Yes,
be on
we
the
understand
waiting
the
list
waiting
of
list.
the Fall River Housing Authority.
And do you know how many people are on the Fall River Housing Authority waiting list?
I don't-
Many. I do. We asked. It says 5 to 8 years before any of us
So it's a
lost
five-
volunteer,
so-
will be able to get in the
So
house.
the people that
So
are on the
imagine the
waiting list for
influx.
the Fall River
So
Housing
imagine
Authority
the
would get priority
influx.
for this.
Imagine the influx of people who you don't know, they're not your neighbors, didn't live here with them for numerous years, would flow into this property.
No,
Had that
they're
proposal,
people
had
from
that
Fall
proposal
River.
gone through. No, they're not just people from Fall River,
on the
sir.
waiting list.
They're not just people from Fall. It's a statewide list.
It's a
You said
citywide.
the city would look great to the
It's
state.
the city's waiting list. for the Fall
But
River
the
Housing
people, the people on that list are not just Fall River residents.
Authority.
Is that correct?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't, sir.
I don't know.
You
who's
don't
on
know
the
if people on the
Fall
Fall
River
River Housing
Housing
Authority list are all Fall River residents or not? You don't know that? It's a statewide
Most
organization.
of them are.
Okay.
People in here in Section 8 have vouchers
So
from
see,
other
once again,
places.
you have double talk, you
it's
have
not just the
confusion.
city.
You have confusion. you
Mayor,
have-
I'm sorry, it's
Yes.
just not the city.
Correct.
There's people in here with Section 8 vouchers that are from other communities out there that give Section 8 vouchers. It's not just Fall River. They come from,
with them.
Yep.
they're mobile, you can move anywhere you want with them if you have a mobile one. They're all over this, what am I saying? The state. They could be South Shore Housing, they could be Taunton Housing.
Correct.
So when do you figure you're gonna have an
It,
answer with
it's
Mass
not just
Housing?
Fall River waiting list, it's people that can come from other cities.
And that's what the point is. We could not commit to the first proposal, which was 200 units, project-based. We could not provide 1.6 million. We could not provide the 150. We could not provide, because that would be another 60 people that we have no control. It's just not what we wanted to do. We didn't want to do that to you. We didn't want to do that as a city. So we're not interested in that proposal. What we're working on today, going forward, over the next week or two, to answer your question, we're on the phone with Mass Housing every single day that we can be, is to get a proposal from Mass Housing that allows the preservation of the people that live here already and potential funding options for a buyer. That's what we're attempting to do. That proposal is then taken back to the owner, and the owner has to either accept or not accept, depending on the purchase price at that time. That's the only way this happens. That's the best solution, and that's what we're going to continue to try and advocate for. So we will take a couple more questions, because I know everybody's got places to be, I'm sure.
Linda, behind you.
I do have a question. We're fighting so hard because we want to stay in our homes.
I know.
The other thing is, I'm sorry, if we have to leave, most of us can't even afford to move our stuff because that's how it will be. So everything stays here. We've lost everything that we've ever tried to save for our lives. And I just asked this gentleman, where do we go? Because there's nowhere else. Like we're saying, 5 to 8 years.
I almost want to stop you. You know why?
Yeah.
Because nobody is going to leave. Nobody is going to leave here. Unless you should die or move out. That's what I said. So nobody's going to leave. People are secure here. There may be changes in ownership. The owner wants as much money as she can get. Okay? That's the bottom line. We're concerned about you. I don't care. When there's a vacancy and somebody moves in, I really don't care. I hope that that's a market rate unit, but I don't care. I'm concerned about you and you maintaining your residence, and that's what you should be concerned about. There's been lots of misinformation all around. You know why? People don't know what they're talking about. They don't know because it's very confusing when you start talking about tax credits and about 1.6 and throw numbers out everywhere, okay? I will assure you, and I've been with him, and I've been on conversations with Weston for 2 hours, and in Boston with legislative agents to protect housing. And not one person wants to see anyone be relocated, moved out, or have their furniture moved. It's not going to happen. So I just want to say that now. I just wanted to say that.
I just want a voucher that I can say that I can pay 30% of my income, period. And if I'm not entitled to that
We don't know
voucher,
what's going to happen.
then that's where it's wrong, because that's how he feels that he's
Oh,
not giving
sir,
out any
okay,
vouchers.
so this is the option for you. For you, not for everybody else, for you.
Go ahead.
This is
Not
very
paying
simple.
market rent.
This
So
is
go
very
ahead.
simple, very simple.
Go ahead.
There are properties that are project-based, okay? There are properties that are project-based. The city is not gonna project-base this building, because as I've stated so many times, that's gonna cause these people a problem. They have a lifestyle here that they're accustomed to. They have neighbors that they know. We don't want a situation like we have across the street. Simple as that. Simple as that. If you want to pay 30% and you want that guarantee today, you are more than willing to move into a project-based building. That's what you can do. But you want your cake and you want to eat it too.
No.
That's what you want.
No, you want your cake and eat it, which is no vouchers, project-based vouchers here. I should be entitled to that, living here. I shouldn't have to move, just to get
You
it.
should not be entitled.
That's right, but
No.
you're denying that. You kept saying today all the time, no project-based vouchers in this building.
Correct.
I shouldn't have to move. You're saying to me I should move into another building?
If
This
you
is my
want-
home here now.
if-
I'm not telling you to move into another apartment,
I'm
just to
also
get a
not-
lower rent.
But that's
Am I
the-
saying that to
sir,
you?
that's the option available to
No,
anybody. If
no.
you-
All
any-
my options
sir,
is to live
excuse me.
here. This is my home.
Excuse me. If you decide you want to buy something cheaper, bread is sold in one Stop and Shop cheaper than Market Basket, or vice versa, you decide where you're going to go
That's
buy
right.
that bread.
If when someone comes in and
That's
says,
the
here,
world
I'm
we live
giving
in.
you a voucher so you can pay less when you are staying at,
No,
I
sir,
should be
they're
entitled to
telling
that.
you, they want to give you that project-based voucher
That's
so that
right.
they can make $3 million,
No,
so
no.
that they can lock this
I
property
don't
in
care
for
what
40
they make.
years.
They can make
That's
as
what
much
they
as
want
they
to do.
want, as long as I can pay less rent
And
through
they're
a
gonna do
voucher,
it on
thank you
your-
very much.
and they're gonna do it on
And
your
$10 million
back.
to bring people in here to work, put people to business. What more do you want? $10 million, that's what they're allocated.
And that is still happening under this new plan.
Well, that's fine, that's
Can
right,
you just
at
give
that
us,
end of it, that's
sir,
right.
can you just give me a chance, can everybody here
Yeah,
agree
give
to
me one-
give me a chance
Yeah.
to work a deal with Mass Housing?
Fine.
Can you do that?
Fine.
Is that fair?
Fine.
Yeah.
Can you all give me a chance to
Fine.
work a deal with
Yes.
Mass Housing?
Yes.
If I can't work a deal with Mass Housing,
Fine.
I'll come back to you.
Yes.
I held nothing back today. I didn't,
Neither
you know,
did I.
I didn't beat around the bush about my position. I didn't come in here and tell you, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm telling you, we're on the phone with Mass Housing. If we can get a deal that preserves your apartments, we're gonna talk about the rent subsidy, if it can go lower, great.
Beautiful.
We don't want it to go higher.
Thank you very
right?
much.
We don't want it to go higher, we want it to go
We can
lower.
figure
If
that
we
out.
can make that happen, we're gonna make that happen. But my top goal, from the people that have spoken to me, your leaders here, the meetings that I've watched, the first priority was staying in this building in your homes, correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so this happens to me all the time, as mayor.
Mayor,
I-
the thing is, we don't have too much time for that situation, you know what I mean? We don't have too much time. That's
I know,
why.
we're working with them to get a deal together as quickly as possible. I will tell you right now, if there's a possibility of project-based, whatever, Weston will renegotiate and extend their purchasing. That's a guarantee, I'll tell you that right now. We know that. Okay. Now, I lost my train of thought for a second. Wait a second. That's okay.
You're young, you'll get it back.
The Western extension is separate. What I'm trying to tell you is that I need some time, a chance, to work this deal.
Are you gonna try to get Mass Housing to lower the rents to 30%?
We're going to, thank you for reminding me. This is what I was gonna say. This happens to me all the time. Somebody wants something. They want it so bad. Hold on. They want it so bad. And then when I come and I tell them as mayor, and it doesn't have to be just housing, it can be snow plowing. Somebody calls our office and says, Mayor, we live on a dead-end street, our street never gets plowed, it's never been plowed in 100 years, I need this street plowed. I physically will go in and plow, myself. Okay, Jen was up 28 hours, it's crazy, plowing that 16-inch stone street.
Right, the subsidy
And we will plow that street, that dead-end street. But you know what'll happen? Now they got what they want, they call me back, they say, Mayor, can you also plow out my, excuse me, sir, excuse me. They call us back and they say, Mayor, thank you so much, I've never had my dead-end street plowed, but can you come back and plow my driveway now too? And that is what happens. So sir, wait a minute, so one second.
Make my meal for
You're
me.
trying to make a point.
You're gonna personally pay everybody's rent to lower it there.
I'm giving you an illustration of what I mean. I'm giving you an illustration of what I mean.
It's okay.
What I mean is that your top priority, from all the meetings I've watched, from all the letters you've written, was, Mayor, I need to stay in my house. That's what your top priority is. So let me work on that, and also let me work on the second request, which is to lower your rents. But that's two requests in all fairness.
Right.
Your first request was to preserve your home. And I'm gonna, this is my goal, is to preserve your home at the rents that you have and not increase rents. That's my goal. Yeah.
Then we gotta go, Mayor.
Yes. Yes. So that, once we've exhausted that option, you can see, and this is why it's called a negotiation, right? You can see that we started at 200 units, we went to 150, now we're at 90. You can see that they want a 1.6, now they don't need 1.6. So we've already made progress. We've already made a lot of progress. No longer are we at the beginning stages where they are dictating to us from Boston what they want to do. Now we're in the driver's seat to dictate what we want to do. So instead of it being 150 vouchers, 60 of them people that you don't know, maybe we do arrive at 90 vouchers for just the people that are here. But had we went along with those original plans, it would have put all of you not in the driver's seat, but rather possibly hurt you. So that's how the city has to think. For too long, and I don't want to sound political here, but for too long, you've had mayors and organizations and Boston and companies and developers and people looking to make a profit not negotiate on your behalf, not think of the long-term problems. The city has a lot of the issues that it has today because people were too quick to sign 40-year project-based vouchers where the state could put anybody they wanted anywhere in Fall River. We have already went through that history. We've already gone through that. we don't wanna repeat it. So if I can protect your homes, that's my first priority. If I can get you a rent reduction, that's my second priority. But the overarching goal is to ensure that you stay here and that no new project-based vouchers enter this building. But, yes, ma'am. It may. It may. But if we can get a 13A program that doesn't project-base that unit, that's even better. Because then that's specific for you. Versus, what would happen is, and that's where the comments about dad, and leaving, that's what the problem is, right? If we project-base, if we give you that voucher today, that project-based unit, and 2 years from now, you decide, I'm gonna move to Florida, right? That project base doesn't leave with you. Now that unit is project based for the remainder of 18 years or 38 years.
No, that's section
That's
8.
the difference.
That's
the
section 8,
That's
mobile
where-
vouchers, that's
where we
section
have-
8.
That's where we have a disconnect.
That's
ma'am.
different, that's a different program between 13A and section 8. That's where
that's-
people are confused.
That's where, so
There
make
is-
this, so that's the difference.
The 13A program was 40 years ago. It was a mortgage program. It ended 40 years ago. We're just waiting for the mortgage to end. There is no future 13A mortgage program. There might be grants that Mass Housing has that could replace the 1.6 million. That's why in my view, that wouldn't be as essential. But the project-based voucher piece is necessary to lower the rents and preserve housing for the 90 people that are otherwise going to be displaced. So I think I heard you say that you would consider, I think he said, you would consider maybe 90 vouchers, or which was really project. You can't provide mobile vouchers to people except through the project-based voucher mechanism. It's the only way you can do it, as you probably know. So
You're lying today, but if there's a creative solution.
No, there is a,
potential.
I thought you were kind of opening up to possibly coming to that if Mass Housing can't come up with some other new operating subsidy program that would lower people's rents.
What I'm saying is that if we
Which is what
can't
you're
put the deal
otherwise
together,
suggesting.
we will come back, we'll talk about it, and we'll figure it out. That's what we're gonna do.
And will you
But I
commit
need
to
a chance. No, I'm
talking
not
to the
committing to
tenants
anything,
organization?
Mr. Kane.
Do you-
I'm not
will
gonna
you
commit to anything that
negotiate
you
with the
asked.
tenants
I'm not
organization?
committing to anything that you asked. That's it.
Ah.
So, we're gonna wrap this up, we've got a couple more questions, and then we're gonna go into